Good morning, Fulshear, Katy, Area Chamber of Commerce. My name is Albert Perez. I'm with Dreambuilder Financial Services, and of course, I have Ms. Rachel Sheffield of Rachel Designs right here with me. We are actually meeting at the Chamber office. So we want to get to know a little bit more about Rachel's business and a little bit more about her. So I always believe that the more that you get to know somebody, the easier it is to have a business conversation, and ultimately, you build that trust and relationship with that person. Ultimately, you'll end up doing business with that person. So hopefully, we can bring a little bit of that to you guys today. All right. So Rachel, good to have you here.
Absolutely. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. I've been looking forward to this, and
Yes.
congratulations to your rope cutting that we did
Thank you.
last week. So you're officially,
In the chamber.
in the chamber, ready to rock and roll.
I'm honored and excited about it.
Ready to rock and Rachel.
Yes, the RR. Did you hear me? We're going to drop the D this morning. For sure.
Well, very cool. I know we were talking in just a little bit before we got started here with the video and kind of getting to know a little bit more about you. So I want to kind of back up just a little bit so we kind of bring our audience here into this as well. So you are not from Texas,
No,
but you got here pretty quick,
absolutely. We did a
right?
hop and a skip before we got here.
Right.
Yes.
From Utah, Alabama,
Yes.
right? I thought that was pretty interesting. I've never heard of Utah, Alabama, and it's not
EU.
spelled. Yeah, it's not spelled like this, like the state. It's Eutaw.
Absolutely.
Utah,
Alabama.
Alabama.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Oh
Gotta
my,
rock it.
my niece would love that. That's her goal is to
Roll
go to Alabama.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, she's on the right track if she heading there.
Yeah. Yep. Well, very cool. So let's, I guess, prior to Rachel Design, right? So we were talking a little bit about, I was curious about how you got into wanting to do a business about branding, about, building awareness essentially for businesses, right?
Yes.
And you mentioned a little bit about an artistic background that kind of started at a very young age. So tell me a little bit about that again.
Well, at a young age, I was always a busybody, and one afternoon I got into some trouble, so I had to sit with myself rather than any technology and whatnot. So when I was on punishment, I started scanning the room, and I noticed that my oldest sister Evelyn had a lot of designs on the wall, and I'm like, wow, I always wanted to be like my oldest sister. We're like 5 years apart, so whatever she done, I feel like I can do it, but I was always a busybody, so I didn't get a chance to always sit down and draw like she was. I was more, tomboyish, sports related. So, with that being said, I ended up getting a sketchbook out that I had gotten for Christmas, and I put it to use. And I ended up drawing my first cartoon character, and that was SpongeBob. And the outcome of that led to so many things. But what brought me to branding businesses is when I was the curiosity of how these businesses get these cool logo and shirts and banners, because I traveled a lot before coming to Texas officially. So just always looking on the highway and like, oh my God, how did they do this and how did they do that? So going to college officially for the digital side was very challenging because they don't use paper and pencil for the end result when it come down to businesses. You can use that as a, stepping stone to arrive to that end result to go on the computer. So the digital side was very much challenging for me through my whole career. Yes.
Okay. I know, I mean, you just triggered something again with me. The Apple iPad, apparently is a pretty interesting tool
Yeah.
when it comes to sketching because of the pressure
Yes.
sensitivity of the pen and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I've never used it for that purpose, but I bought one many years ago for my own business to assist in when I'm visiting with clients for contracts. I mean, it's the big one, 8.5
Right.
or 11, right? So, So, but the type of things that you were learning, I assume those all on computers,
Yes.
right?
Adobe Suite was
Adobe Suite.
Adobe Suite was exactly what we was learning in the career. So just the first day of school, I literally almost cried. Even dropped the class at once because it was just so overwhelming along with all the other courses. And I'm like, I'm very hands-on, and I'm like, I almost need you to sit right here because it was difficult being that I couldn't afford Apple products at the time. So I would have to reteach myself on a what you call those computers back then,
PC?
PC. So used to Apple now that I'm like, what is PC again?
All right.
So it was very challenging because
Yeah.
you know everything was shorthand. The more you learn the shortcuts on Apple products, the faster your outcome was going to be. So it was just very much difficult to always have two different computers during my first part of the career when I was in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Got
Yes.
it. Got it. Very cool.
Yes.
Now, the other thing that you kind of dropped on me, and that hit me like a ton of bricks, is your
Keep it-
first. Go
right.
ahead.
Keep in mind, I'm always dropping RD tips. So
Oh, yeah.
how you keep on like that aha moment. We're trained to give you an aha moment.
Yeah.
So just keep in mind, we're going to be dropping some RD tips here today.
Well, one of the things that popped out is that you said that your first character that you drew was SpongeBob.
Yes.
So that just tells me there is a broad difference in our age. Because
Yeah.
you know, back in my day, you know, I'm looking at Popeye, I'm looking at Heckle and Jekyll,
Yes.
I'm looking at Tom and Jerry, you know, the old stuff.
Yes. I think I had Tom and Jerry in there and then Popeye. So
Yeah.
a little bit of diversity. It wasn't just strictly my generation
Era,
of
sure.
cartoons. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, very cool. So also, well, let's talk a little bit about the different types of services and things that you bring to the table. You know, helping clients and things of that nature, right?
Yes.
So I know that I was looking on your website just a while ago, and I was seeing. I just flipped it. I'm looking at branding and logo design. So I know logo designs has a very close, you know, how would you call it? It's very close to your heart
I guess.
because it's pulled on a lot of your artistic, you know, mind and you
Yes.
know creativity, right?
Yes. So when I went to school, it's very hard to brand yourself because I'm a jack of all trades. So just to stay in a box enough to brand myself as a person, as a business owner was very challenging for me. But what makes it so personal and allows me to connect with the people is learning who they are and maybe in 3 words get a graphic to incorporate who they are and let it represent them without I have to say from A to Z who I am. So that's why I lean more towards branding or specializing in logos because it's a symbol of who you are.
Sure.
And when I can capture that in one graphic, I think it's just so phenomenal. So for sure, that is my passion. But I always did not want to be just in a box for logos. I don't want to be well known as logo designer. I wanted that extensive service, so I pushed myself to the limit to also offer web page design outside of visual identity. Then we have, you know, environmental design. Because again, I always saw billboards, and it was very much attractive when you have a billboard on the highway. So wanted to learn how to do that. And about a couple of months ago, I got my first billboard design in Dallas, Texas. We have 3 of them
Awesome.
around. So I rebranded this lawn medics service out in Dallas, Texas. So they have 3 of them in different areas. So that was just so rewarding. So we also offer that. We also offer custom design, environmental publication, and then we also have packaging in art and illustrating. So I didn't also want to steer away from the artistic side because I get to do more of a portrait of someone. Sometimes people want themselves in a cartoon related way, so I'm glad that I get a chance to pull out that pen because I don't have an iPad where I draw on. I use more the pen tablet where it connects to the Apple, and I just draw this way because it still gives me that form that I'm on using pen and paper.
Right.
So I think I love that one much better than just sit there. So it's different, you know, system that you use that works better for you
Sure.
and how you work in the industry. So yeah.
Sure. Very cool. Very cool. Um, I was looking at, yeah, again here, illustrations and print design and web design. And I don't know one of the things that you also mentioned, Rachel, and by the way, again, just to drop it in there one more time, again, this is Rachel Sheffield of Rachel Designs. You can find her website at racheldesigns.org. So Rachel Designs with an S at the end, .org. So we were talking earlier, and you were talking about the vlogging, all the different social media aspect, the impact that you have out there. So let's talk to us about that. Because that also, I mean, obviously
Yes.
is a very, very broad extension of what you start with here.
Right.
So go ahead.
So I always had a passion for filming and vlogging and catching the moment. It seemed like I need to be there to vlog everything, and I always had like an office in my house, which in my room, because I consider myself as a receptionist or or this business owner at the age of 12, 13. I have pictures from back in the day where I had an office, home office, act like I was running a business. So I always had a passion for it. So coming into business, I did not want to do away with the gift that I have, the more of the natural side of who I am. Because you can go to school to be an artist or that, but when you become a people person and know how to interact and just grab someone's attention through your own personality and whatnot, because I have a big personality. So I never just like to be trapped inside the box. So being that I'm in the graphic design world, I wanted to incorporate it so that you may see who I am through my clothes. I'm a model. I call myself the fashionable graphic designer in Katy, Texas, because right now I don't have time to get away from my desk to do the gigs that I was doing when I was just in school. So now I incorporated, when you see me, you're going to see that fashionable side of who I am, or being that I'm very well known on social media, I love to hop on a trend or come up with a clip or a TikTok, whatever the case is. So that also still incorporating who I am and what I like to do, when I'm not like handling the branding side, because sometimes that can get a little stale or boring. So I like how I can put that on pause, or when I'm able to go to a party and capture their moment and whatnot. So I think I just have that eye as a photographer, as a vlogger, or as a spokesman. Because on Thursdays, I have my own talk show called the RD Show. So I kind of
Really?
go live on Facebook and Instagram. So we're gonna be in season 4 when I do bring it back. I haven't made a decision yet, but I usually do the beginning of the year in the fall, because we, try to grab people's attention where we bring in joy and peace, especially around the holiday time and whatnot. So that also brings out my personality as well, where I'm doing exactly what you're doing, but we're addressing, I like to call it, the nation.
Sure.
Because we're reaching people, and I just love to connect with folks, give them that testimony, be an inspiration to who they are trying to be, and remind them that you're right where you need to be. You know what I mean? So I just like to drop that RD tip. So having my own platform, because I dream to be on a bigger platform where I'm sharing my story, but sometimes you have to start at home. So you can't go look around and say, can I get on your show? Why not start your own table and build it, constantly until you get to where you ultimately want to be, and that is globally. And that's my desire, for sure.
What's interesting is that it reminds me of I don't know if you call it a quote or meme or whatever, right? That I heard or saw a long time ago is work until you no longer have to introduce yourself.
Absolutely.
Right?
I love that. I love that. Or I love the fact that find something, I know I'm bushing it, but it's more so when you do something that you love, you never work a day in your life.
Oh, that's excellent.
So
Yeah,
man, when I'm
absolutely.
in my element, I'm like, I be forgetting that I'm working, because it's all tailored to what I love to do on a daily basis.
That's exactly right.
Whether I'm having fun or making videos, I even make little short movies and things, or little clips and stuff, just to act out. So
Right?
I
Just to
love
act
it.
out.
Yes, love it all. I love to entertain. As y'all may saw at the rope cutting, I give you guys a taste of that. So
Right.
sure.
Very cool. Well, actually, unfortunately, I did stay there for the rope cutting until the karaoke got started. but I didn't realize it was starting at 8 o'clock.
Yes.
Right? I think
Yes.
it was 8 o'clock. Yeah, and I had an appointment
Uh-huh.
on Zoom at 8:30.
That
So
night?
that night.
Oh, no.
Yes, yes. So, and I was visiting with Chris Bryson. I'm gonna drop him in here real quick. With Chris Bryson of Bryson AC, or BIC approved, as everybody knows. Chris. But I told him, I was like, we were talking, and I think that maybe there's only been one or two people that had sang at that point.
Okay.
And I said, what time is it? And he told me, I think it was like, if memory serves me correctly, it was like 8:11. And I was like, oh, crap. I've got 19 minutes to get to my house,
Right.
get set up on Zoom
Yes.
and get,
When I got on
yeah.
stage, I was like, "Where's Albert?" No way. But I kept the show going, so I
Of course you
did. I
did.
did vlog it, so I'll send it to you so where you can still see the performance.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah. Well, we got to do it again.
I love singing. I was raised in the church, so I always was singing the choir lead sing. So that's also been that I joined the chamber has gave me the opportunity to appear monthly to just get out my comfort zone and just perform and entertain. I sing once a week to my god grandmother in Michigan. She just turned 80, so she looked forward to my voice. So she kind of just like, why are you not using your voice? You can sing my like, what, I make an appointment intentionally. I have been doing that for the last 2 years where she doesn't miss a call on Saturdays. If we're either busy, I'll drop a song on her voicemail just so she can have it.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's cool.
yeah. So I love singing as well.
That is very cool. That is very cool. Yeah, music is actually a big part of my life. That's my detox.
Okay.
Yeah, big time. Well, I mean, we won't go through
Right,
that
right.
on here, but yeah, I do like to get out there and sing as well.
Okay. Well, I'm waiting for him. I have went to maybe 3 of the social setting at Katy Vive, and he yet to get on stage. So hold him accountable when you watch this, you guys.
Come out to the next one.
Absolutely.
We'll
June 22nd, be there, 8 o'clock, Fabulous Ray. That's my nickname.
Yeah.
We'll be on stage.
Well, that's the when the karaoke starts. But you got to come out sooner to be a part of our community, because again, let's talk real quick about the chamber, because the chamber, Fulshear Katy area chamber, for those that are watching this and don't, and that are in the area, and want to be able to expand your reach and connect with other business owners that potentially could be in need of your services, or perhaps more importantly, is that they might know somebody who might need your services. So it's better to find one spokesperson that speaks well of you, that knows you, that trusts you, that is willing to give a recommendation of you as a business owner.
Absolutely.
So now it's not just that one person, it's all of their community as well that you just tapped into a potential new market.
Yes.
So I think that from a networking standpoint, because that's what Katy Vibes is really for us. I mean, it's a networking night out, right? But we just add a little fun, in
Absolutely.
it. And I think that a lot of times people, get confused sometimes where they come out to an event and they expect to meet their client right there, and it doesn't always happen like
Right.
that.
You have to build
It's
a
rare.
relationship. Yeah.
It's rare, and that's a good point, because again, part of, like I mentioned here at the beginning, is again, I read a book a long time ago, and I've referenced it on a number of my videos here before, by Bob Berg, where he talks about people do business with people who they know, like, and trust. Okay, until you have those 3 factors that's really going for you, the chances of them referring people to you is very, very small. And people, and not to mention of them trusting, if there's no trust in that, they're probably not going to do business with you, right? So it takes all of those aspects for them to just get into you are able to get into that person's circle of trust.
Absolutely.
I was just thinking about that Robert De Niro movie. I can't remember, the Meet the Fockers or something like that.
Yeah.
The circle of trust, right? When you get in the circle of trust, there's a lot of beautiful things that happen.
Absolutely.
So
It goes with the colors. I was looking here today that you and I
Are
match
blue?
with the colors, and the blue is more of a safe zone. And I just look at the psychology. So just looking at the screen and I see that we're trusting with the color. Sometimes the psychology of coloring is also plays a big part as well. So I'm just thinking it may
Not
be,
only in what we wear, but
Yeah.
also in the branding
yes,
that is chosen.
yes,
And
it's
that's
saved.
where,
Yes, very much.
and see, we're back into Rachel Designs
Yeah,
once again.
absolutely. All day long, my eyes are trained to see it all. It may be small to you, but I see it all. And when he walked in the door, I said, "No, we got the same. We're contrasting more similar today,
Yeah.
which is cool."
Yeah, absolutely. Well, all right, guys. Well, again, just wrapping up here with Rachel Sheffield of Rachel Design. So feel free to reach out to her. We'll have her contact information of her business that'll be popping in on the screen here. So again, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, and look forward to continue our collaborations. At the various upcoming chamber events and outside of the chamber as well.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Take
With a
care.
perfect design comes a happy client at Rachel Designs.
Ooh, drop it like it's hot. Take care.
See you guys.